So that's a huge piece. We've got some different things going in here and there. So execution's elite, and then obviously the biggest thing is at the end of the day when you're playing football on defense is the finishing moments. The times you have an opportunity to make a play, make the tackle, win the coverage rep, win your pass rush rep, take the ball away. So those three things are honestly what we're hammering every single day. As we're trying to build this thing one day at a time.
How's that last one going, that component of the finishing? What some people might call playmaking. How are the
Yeah,
finishing
I would say it's like everything, it's a work in progress, but it's something that, we want to measure it and then reward it. So we're doing a good job. Our staff is doing a good job of making sure that, when the player does make the play, he's given an attaboy for that. But then when he doesn't, we want to coach him how to make the play and put himself in a better position. Because at the end of the day, when these games, all these close games and high-level football, whether you're in the NFL or in a big-time college football, they're going to come down to the last possession of the game. And you've got to train yourself to win in those moments. So every single day, every time we meet with them, every time we practice them, we're trying to harp on that as well as the other two things.
Use charts to keep track.
Yes. Yeah, when you say measure it, you're actually charting whether or not they won their rep in coverage, whether or not they affected the ball, whether or not they made the play. And then it's sent to them so they see it and they understand that we are measuring it, and then we're rewarding it because the more plays you make, the more you make your way up the depth chart. So
for you, how has the progression gone in having 4 new assistant coaches who are new to the program this year and then 5, including yourself, who are in new spots? What's that been like?
I think it's been awesome. It's been, kind of an unbelievable growth opportunity for me. Obviously, we have great direction with Matt, experienced head coach, provides a clear vision on exactly what he wants everything to look like on offense, defense, and special teams. So I follow his lead in that regard. Great confidant, in Phil Snow. That relationship's been awesome for me. We spend a lot of time just talking football, talking philosophy, talking, just things that are on my mind. So that's been great. And then obviously all the coaches that we added, whether it's a different position or a new coach, they're hungry to follow the lead of coach and then obviously follow my lead. So it's been great. A lot of energy, a lot of appreciation of those guys for being here, and they're doing their best to get us better one day at a time. I'm sorry.
How would you characterize Snow's role? How do you want it to be?
I want it to be is to help us and help our players in every single possible way that he can. And for me and for all of us to be open to any opportunity he can provide to make us better, make me better, make our team better. He's out there coaching up freshman DBs, coaching his ass off, having fun. I'm over there watching his drills. I coached DBs in the NFL for 10 years and coached them for 20 years in different levels, and I'm over there watching different guys do their drills, and I'm learning stuff. So that's part of the mindset that everybody has to have when we're all there together. It's like, okay, Matt provides the vision. I'm the leader of the room, but we're all on the same page trying to make this the best product we can for Nebraska football.
In your career, have you been part of a staff, college or the NFL, that had someone in a role like what Phil is doing right now?
I actually have. When I was with the Texans, Romeo Crennel was our defensive coordinator, and obviously an incredibly successful defensive coordinator in the NFL, and was our coordinator for a couple of years. And then he got moved to a senior defensive assistant role. And I think that you're a fool if you don't embrace that knowledge and that experience, whether it was him when we were with the Texans or obviously here now with Coach Snow. We all understand we're all focused on one thing, and that's to make Nebraska's defense and the black shirts as best as possible. So there's no egos in that room. It's all about getting better and improving.
You return Sear Wright at one of those corner spots. What does that other corner look like right now, as far as kind of the guys you're
I wouldn't say Sear's a returner, but he's competing. He's competing for his job every single day. I think all the players that we have over there, really don't want to get into naming names. I know everybody's interested in what maybe the depth chart looks like and who's practicing, but I feel like we got really good competition. Really at all positions in the secondary. I think that area has improved not only with another year of experience for the players that are returning, but also from some of the guys that we've added. I've been encouraged with those guys, and some of those players in that room have really grown in the finishing aspect, taking the ball away and making plays on the ball. So I'm excited about how that's going to shake out, but there's still plenty of time to determine really who's going to be out there anywhere. Go ahead.
With Deshaun and Javen, and in the at the end of the season last year, you didn't really know if you were going to get them back, and you
Right.
got them both back. Just what has that been like, getting those two guys back? There's
Right.
been
It's kind of like
response.
free agency in pro football, right? You're like, oh man, is that guy going to leave us? And then all of a sudden they decide to stay. Well, that's just an analogy, but it's similar in that you feel like you have two players that might have opportunities to go like to another place, which would have been the NFL. And because of the culture and the program that Matt's kind of created and built, they want to stay here, which I think is an awesome testament to what's going on here right now, because you have an opportunity to go play in the NFL, which for most people, that is your dream. And both of them decided that they want to still be a part of this and help us build this thing on defense. And I'm obviously very excited that they're both back. They've both had very good springs. They've been good in the preseason with the strength and conditioning, good with our younger players and, spending time with them. So it's been awesome for us. And obviously we're very appreciative that they decided to do that.
Likewise, when you bring in one-year guys like McCullough and Watson Trent, I mean, they're here for 1 year, so they obviously want to maximize. How have you seen those guys sort of move into leadership roles and they got to produce right away?
Yeah, without really getting into too much detail on them because they're new, I would just say I think that we're very excited that they're here.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious. Last season, DB's coach, how has that experience in the Big Ten shaped how you're going to be doing things as a defensive coordinator?
That's a good question. I haven't really ever thought about that. There was definitely some things that were different about coaching DBs just in general in the NFL to college. The number one thing, you're coaching men versus you're coaching younger men. I think Matt was helpful in that with transition with me, and like you really got to look at it like in college, you're really still training them to how to play, where in the NFL you're really coaching them. That was a good learning point for me to kind of like that I picked up from him saying, and I do believe that. So I think that it's just, they're just not as experienced. That's all it is. So you're just trying to provide as much experience and as much exposure to the things that they're going to see, and that's why it's so important to get practice and have walkthroughs and have meetings, because that's how you develop them in that regard with every single day. So I would say that would be the biggest thing. And then there was definitely some schematic things offensively that obviously because of the way the field's not shaped, but the hash marks and things like that and the numbers, that the design of some of the offensive stuff was just something that you took time adapting to. But I've always been able to kind of adjust and figure things out fairly quickly. So hopefully we can keep working in that direction.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious with Mike Eckler with special teams, when he's not doing the special teams, is he someone that helps you at all with the defense, or does he strictly stay?
Yeah,
Special teams?
I don't really know how to answer that question. I'd rather. Yeah, Mike's the special teams coordinator, and he's doing an awesome job. I go to every one of his meetings. I mean, they're phenomenal. I think we're gonna have a great special teams unit, but he's the special teams coordinator.
With Deshaun Singleton, Coach Rule had mentioned he may have been moving around a little bit. Just where have you been looking at him at, and what do you like about Deshaun's skill set?
Yeah, Deshaun is definitely a guy that we're looking at in multiple roles. We love players that, I personally love them, and I think we all do. Love players that have versatility, that can play multiple spots, and that way you don't have to sub everybody to fill, different positions. But, I think that was one of the things that appealed to him in coming back, was the role that we were going to use him in, maybe an expanded role where last year he played the safety position. And now moving forward, we're going to do our best to, use all of our players towards their skill set. When we recruit you and sign you, we're going to use you for what you are. And then it's our responsibility to develop you into what we want you to be and how you could use and be used in this system. So you can't pigeonhole players, but you got to have, the more versatile pieces you have, I think it's better for your defensive unit.
Coach, you mentioned that having those new guys on the staff is you call it an unbelievable growth opportunity for yourself. Can you expand on that? Why is that?
Well, you get guys from so many different places. Like Terry he's with the Chiefs for 8 years. All they've done is won. And unfortunately, multiple times they beat me in the playoff game. So I have to respect that, and he brings an unbelievable amount of experience in that winning culture. Obviously, Phil Simpson has a great background with not only Phil played for Matt, so he can provide some insight there. Rob's been around him, has played for Matt. Addison has a great amount of experience, and obviously as a DB guy, you always kind of, I don't want to say you talk more to him, but like we have common things. So there's a lot of things we're constantly talking about how he did things and how maybe I want to do things and how we can maybe meet in the middle. And then obviously with Snow, I mean, Guy's been coaching 100 years, so like, you know, every experience that he's had in building different defenses and how, you know, years have been different. And obviously all of his great input on, you know, working with Matt for so many years. I mean, I've only been around Matt for nine months-ish, and I've loved my time here, but there's still a lot of things I got to learn and figure out, so I got to lean on him to maybe help me in that regard.
So no one mentioned in a previous press conference that you guys were going to advance the third down and red zone defensive packages. I'm not asking what that advancement is, but more the process of like, is that something you install right away, or do you try to get some of the basics down before you go to some of the more exotic and differentiating things?
Yeah, it's a process. Initially, when you start going with spring football, it's usually first and second down, base fundamental defense, really emphasizing like the things I talked about, the effort, the execution and finish, and the fundamental aspects of that. But as you're starting to progress, like right now, we're starting to kind of just introduce some of our third down and 2 minute, you know, and there'll be some things that are schemes that everybody does, and then there's going to be some stuff that, you know, that we use a lot in other places I've been, let's just say. And then obviously that's where you lean on some of the experience of the other coaches. You know, the Chiefs had a great third down package under Spags. You know, Phil's had a great third down package. And at the end of the day, that's part of the winning moments. Like first and second down, every down's important, but like the money downs are third down and then stopping people in the red zone. You know, if you look at our bowl game, we might have given up some yards here and there. We played great in the red zone, you know, and that was the key. So I believe in that, and I think you've got to do a good job of in those situational areas, third down, red zone, and 2 minute, if you're gonna win football games that matter.
Personality or the style of the defense that you want this team to play on third down?
You've got to affect the quarterback. I mean, he's the guy that has the ball, and he's the one who's making the decisions. And maybe here at the college level, you got to affect the quarterback and the play caller, but you got to make it as hard as possible on the quarterback as you can. Affect him with what you're doing coverage-wise, affect him with what you're doing rush-wise, and be multiple enough that you're not predictable, but simple enough that you're not going to screw it up. So at the end of the day, that's really what our philosophy schematically is overall. But on third down, it's really comes down to affecting the quarterback and the operation of the offense through whatever you're choosing to do.
It sounded like Judy was maybe coming up here. How have you seen him grow?
Coming up, what do you
Elijah,
mean?
to speak, I'm sorry.
Oh, to talk.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just how have you seen him grow as a player, and how do you see that defensive line kind of feeding off the opportunity they have?
Yeah, you know, obviously Judy made it, we're very happy about his decision to come back, and I would just comment that he's had a very good 5 days of spring. He's got to keep getting better. And obviously everybody understands that we lost a lot of experience on the defensive line last year with those guys, and those guys are going to all go and have good careers in the NFL, but that's part of building the program is you have to rebuild in areas of need. And obviously, we all believe that you have to have a great defensive line to have a good defense, and I feel like we got some good young players there. The coaching's getting it better, and you know, I think by the time it needs to be, we'll have it looking exactly the way we want it to.
Following up on that, and I know it's early. Is there anybody on the defensive line who's started to separate themselves from the pack for a starting job?
Yeah, I'm again, as it related to the question about the secondary, I'm going to kind of stay away from just kind of signaling out individuals, but I am very excited about how they've been going. Like we go 9-on-7 every day, we go team, and like there's a lot of reps to be graded and a lot of reps to be used to create tools of improvement. And I would say that area as a collective is really coming on, and I think they embrace the challenge that's at hand right in front of them. And whether it's the guys that we just brought in or whether it's guys that've been here, I think. Like I said, I think we're going to be fine there when the time comes.
You talk about player development, just personally, like, what's that feeling for you as a coach when you see a player take that next step, you know, just improve and take the things that you're teaching them and make themselves better?
Ultimately, I think it's the reason why you do it, you know. It's a pretty cool thing to see guys get better because – you know, whether you're in the NFL or you're in college, like they put so much time into this, and we all sacrifice so much to be and do what we do. Whether you're a college football coach, a pro football coach, college player, or pro player, it requires so much time. It requires so much sacrifice. And I know it's a game, but at the end of the day, like when you see players develop, like we did in Buffalo for the 6 years I was there, and then like using an example of. We had a kid last year, Donnie Jones, that didn't play a whole lot during the season, and he just kept getting better and better and better and better and better. And He played 50-something plays in a bowl game because he was ready to play at that time. And now he needs to keep getting better. Not singling him out as an example, but when you see that growth, then it's your job to keep encouraging that growth, because then that feeds that hunger and that desire to keep getting better, because they start to see the fruits of their labor. They start to see that the work and the time that they're spending and the work and the time that you're investing in them is rewarding. And at the end of the day, then you start to see huge growth, because now they really start to believe that they can do it, and they start to believe that they are good enough, and they start to believe that they do belong, whatever level it is. So that's one of the coolest things about my career, and I get no bigger satisfaction than when I get a text, Christian Benford just signed a $76 million contract with the Buffalo Bills. We drafted him in the 6th round at Villanova. So days like that, when you get text messages from kids like that, makes you feel pretty good about what you're doing, and makes you feel pretty good that you made the career decision that you did. So,
Thanks, Coach.
thank you guys.
What's your playing weight at this spring?
Right now, I weighed in this morning at 298.
When you got to Nebraska a couple years back, what was your weight back then?
So I came in pretty heavy. I think I was around like 312, but I ended up dropping down to 270. When I first got down, now I'm 298.
Where do you feel most comfortable?
It's a good question. It depends. So for me, if I want to play like real fast and be able to rush the passer to the really best of my abilities, I felt great at 270. But right now, I feel real comfortable of doing both stopping and running, playing the pass at 298.
I remember you announced pretty early in December, like, I'm coming back for another year. Just what made you excited to do it, and what are you setting forward as your goals for this season?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just having to talk with my family. At first I was contemplating whether I wanted to come back or not. I didn't know if I wanted to continue football, but then family talked to me, like, it's just one more year. You might as well just take advantage of it as much as possible. So I just said, why not?
New position coach, new defensive coordinator. Phil Snow's associate head coach, worked with Rule for a long time. What's it been like with this new coaching staff, and how has it been, getting used to them?
It's been a great transition. Coach Terry, he's a guy that's high on energy. The D-line room loves him. I was able to meet him before he came down here when he first got hired. I was able to go down, drive down to Kansas City, and be able to meet him, meet his family, and get to know him personally. And I think me and him right now have a really great bond.
How would you describe the coordinator, Butler, his energy and the way he coaches?
He's more like, I can't even explain it. He's more high energy, and he's more like has a lot more swag to him. He wants the defense to have a lot more swag to him.
What does that mean to you? A lot more swag? How?
Everybody just being themselves. When we make a play, everybody celebrate. Do a little dance or something. But at the end of the day, we still got that one goal in mind, that's to do our play at the best of our abilities.
You're an Eagles fan?
No.
So you give him a hard time about the Super Bowl?
No, I gave him a hard time about the Super Bowl, but I'm not an Eagles fan. Nah, I'm a big Seahawks fan.
Why?
Legion of Boom. I was a big Cam Chancellor fan at one point, so yeah.
I'm sure you pick up on some of the conversations around here. Well, they got to replace this guy and that guy in the D-line. Just can you sense the feeling of opportunity within that room and how guys are responding to that challenge?
Yeah, I think a lot of guys are taking that advantage. Right now since the older guys left, like Ty Nash, a lot of guys are taking advantage of doing everything they can to try to get that certain spot. That's why, like, right now, there's no secure spot right now. Everybody's fighting to get that spot.
What was it like that first time when, obviously Butler left a little earlier, but Butler and Ty and Nash, they're not in the room. you're the old guy in the room and you got to be the voice. What was that like?
It was a little weird, but that was just something I had to adapt to. It's still being as though Riley and Cam and Keona was still there. To see some still familiar faces, made me a lot more comfortable.
So how have you done that? How have you been the vocal leader over the last couple of months?
It's mainly just like the small things, making sure everybody got what they need. If anybody needs a ride, and make sure everybody gets to where we got to be on time. And then on the field, it's just being that word of encouragement. Like, let's say somebody mess up, coach get on them. It's me coming over there. It's like, just next play. Just don't worry about it. We got it. And then, just giving words of encouragement and make sure everybody's motivated so that we can accomplish the goals that we want to this year.
Elijah, I know there's a lot of young, talented players in your room and physically impressive guys, but when we saw practice on Thursday for a few minutes, it's hard not to notice 96 and 97. What's it like for you as an older guy to do drills with Williams and Keona, and what do you see for them in the future?
It's great. Being as I'm the older guy, I get with them, I'm able to teach them and show them the ropes of how we do things and help them adapt to the culture that we've set in the room.
What are some of the leadership lessons that you learned from them that you're carrying over into your new role?
Everybody leads different. Ty was more of like a real super vocal guy. Nash was the type of guy to lead by example. He was like the Papa Bear of the group, so he was the more like the sentimental guy. So I know it's like, for me, I learned from them is a mixture of both. Some guys they can't get coached a certain way, so you have to change your tone and the way you approach things with them. Like, for instance, like Keona, he's more of a guy you got to talk to. William, you usually got to talk to him. So, it's just change your attitude when it comes to certain players.
What's kept you going, or what's motivated you throughout your college career? You have to have some patience at times to stick with it. What is your motivation for?
My motivation is my family, my fiance and my son. I come home to them every day. There was times where I wanted to give up, I wanted to quit, but my fiance told me, you better not do it, because, you're this far, so why just give up? And then my son, on the other hand, he was able to teach me a lot of patience. He's a handful, but I love him, and that's my guy, so everything I'm doing now is for him.
How old is he?
He'll be 2 in July.
How hard is that to juggle school, football, family, college work?
It's pretty hard. It's something I had to adapt to. It took a little minute, but I think we got a great routine now. So now as they come to practice every day, I'm able to see them as much as I can. Sometimes when I watch film, I bring them with me, so that way I'm still doing what I gotta do with spending quality time with my family as well. It's been pretty easy so far.
How has brotherhood helped you with football at all?
Like I said before, it taught me a lot of patience. It just really taught me a lot of patience. Because when I first got, I didn't have patience. I wasn't patient at all. I was eager to do stuff, but having Coda, they taught me to slow things down and just take everything step by step, because it can be gone in an instant.
How do you spell his name?
Coda, Kodah.
Anything else for Elijah? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Deshaun, you were set to play in that Shrine Draft All-Star game. When did it actually hit that you were coming back? Because obviously you had committed to move forward with the draft, and what was kind of the turning point for you?
Turning point for me is I sat down and talked about it with my family, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, God bless you with another opportunity that just come out of nowhere. You had to take it. So I just took that opportunity, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just taking it to better myself and develop myself. And yep.
What was that time like when you're like, all right, I'm leaving, I don't have any more eligibility, and then all of a sudden you do?
Yeah, it was just crazy because I was going to bed sleep good. I was sleeping good knowing I'm about to go to the league, you know what I'm saying, go prepare for the draft. I mean, it was no different than every day. I was just in shock because, I mean, I got denied my waiver, and now this drop out of nowhere. So, I mean, yeah, I was just surprised.
How long did it take you to go from, okay, I do have another year of eligibility, to deciding that you wanted to use it?
I mean, it took me probably like 2 weeks, a week after the bowl game, I guess. And yeah, I had to go home and see my fam first. So that's what really made me decide what it was. So.
What has these last couple months been like then, getting back into mat drills, workouts with the team, practice and everything? What's that been like, still being a part of all that?
I mean, it's good. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm here with my brothers at the end of the day, and I'm just trying to go win a national championship. And I want to leave here knowing we got the best secondary in the country. And yeah, that's how that's like. I'm just trying to come here and develop myself, learn myself again, and trying to be a better player at the end of the day.
What do you just think this extra year of college football, I mean, what's that going to do for you to help develop you and get you to that next level then?
That's going to just putting certain things on tape. You know what I'm saying? I just need ball production right now, and that's what I'm aiming to get. So that's what this year going to do for me.
Sean, having played for Coach Butler as a secondary coach last year, and then making the decision that you did with him moving into the coordinator spot, how did that factor in like just your comfort level and being a part of this defense and getting better in this defense?
Because I just know what he wants at the end of the day. He wants his guys to play fast, play physical, and make the play at the end of the day. And I'm right beside him with it. So it just made it more comfortable for the transition to come back and come play for him. That's all. How did he help me get better? Just learning the game. You know what I'm saying? He widened my broad imagery of the game, and he put confidence in me to go out there and make the plays I need to make at the end of the day, and he expect a standard from me. So
You played for Travis Fisher, and 3 other coaches now, counting Addison Williams. I mean, Addison, how would you describe his style compared to the 3 other secondary coaches you had?
I mean, he's all those secondary coaches, they bring something different to you, for you as a player, because that's how you develop at the end of the day. And he's just bringing a level of knowledge. He's bringing knowledge. He's bringing technique to it. He's a little bit of everyone at the end of the day, like everybody. So, I mean, I feel like he gonna help us win at the end of the day. And yeah.
Butler said that they've been moving you around on defense. What's that been like for you, and is there a position that you feel most comfortable at?
I mean, they just been moving around a little bit. I mean, just putting me in best position to use my skill set and make plays at the end of the day. So, I mean, I feel comfortable doing it. I mean, I love playing safety, because that's what they had me at the end of the day. They had me at safety, but it's just different types of safeties at the end of the day. So.
Have they been trying you out closer to the line of scrimmage at all?
No, I'll like certain packages. I'll go down to the line of scrimmage a little bit, but I mean, you might see me blitz some plays. You might see me in the deep half, in the post, playing man. So it's a lot of different things.
Yeah, you aren't the only old head coming back. Javen's back too. Just what has that been like, having him in the locker room again?
It's just familiarity. Knowing guys that I've been through trial and error with, you know what I'm saying? We having the same mindset. We got the same goal with each other at the end of the day, and we gonna drive each other to push each other to do it. So.
With Ty coming back last year and seeing what he was able to do and take that big step, how much does that give you motivation that you can do that for yourself?
Oh, it motivated me a lot. I mean, at the end of the day, it's me for believing in myself I could do it. But, I mean, you seeing that is just a testament to him. You know what I'm saying? I know, watching him, I seen how he worked. I seen how he ran things. I seen him in the film room. You know what I'm saying? I seen him practice. And that just knowing me, shoot, I could be the same way. Because it could go bad for other people, but I seen what he did, and he just passed every single barrier, everything he had, and he took off with it. So, I mean, I feel like I do the same thing.
What's it like going against those receivers, some of the newer guys they have? How can that help? How can you help each other?
I mean, they give us different looks. It's all different types of receivers. So you can't go with the same guy, and you'll get the same look every time. You want to go with guys that move different. All of them, but they're different. They're each different types of receivers. You got your speed receivers, you got your finesse receiver, you got your big body receiver. I mean, it's a lot of variety in that position room. So, I mean, I love it.
You just talked about Coach Butler and also Addison, who's your position coach. How have, I guess, some of the coaching changes maybe changed the tone at spring practice so far?
Say it one more time.
How have the new coaches changed the tone at practice?
I mean, I feel like it's the same standard. Effort. Give effort. Give everything you have and know what you're doing out there. You don't want to look crazy, but yeah, know what you're doing and effort. Play hard.
All right, thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Just what has this off season been like for you?
It's been amazing. Since I've been cleared, I've been doing everything like a normal player. So it's like I picked up right where I left off. So last year I couldn't do anything. This year I have to get better at my weaknesses. So getting stronger, doing all the stuff that I need to work on.
When did you get cleared and what was your reaction?
I got cleared. It was a process, so it wasn't really like a set date. So I had to go through a whole process of when the scheduling and stuff like that. But when it was all said and done, I was super excited. I was back to playing football again, so that's all I ever asked. So
Does that give you an appreciation for practicing?
Oh.
Not just the way that it was for you last year.
I approach practice a lot differently now. Last year made me appreciate practice more. Now I treat it like a art, like it's a perspective change. So like, you know how people do taekwondo and taijutsu. I think as football as like a art form or a lifestyle. So like, you go in, you do what you need to work on, and it's a lifestyle. So you kind of immerse yourself into football.
You've been here 7 years now. Do the guys give you a hard time about being the first 7th-year player in Nebraska football history?
Of course, yeah. So I get called Unc all the time. I get called old man all the time. I actually texted Deontay Williams a little while ago. I said, I know how you feel now. So like, just being like the older guy and going through all those generations, I get a lot of wisdom to share to the younger guys, and it's actually great. I like being the older guy, so it's fine.
You knew near the end of last season that there was a potential for you to come back. Just what was your process like in trying to figure out what you wanted to do for this year?
So I always wanted to come back. I kind of already had like an 80% chance knew I was going to come back. But like during that time we were in a bowl game and we were at the end of the season, so I really wasn't focused on what was happening next year. But when the season did end, Coach Will talked to me. The NCAA kind of proved it pretty quickly that I was coming back, so it wasn't really any hassle for me.
How would you describe maybe the range of possibilities for how you could fit into the defense this next year?
Yeah, I can. Since I've been here for a long time, played football for a long time, I'm a little vet. So I know a lot about football. They can plug me in anywhere, jack, field linebacker, boundary linebacker now. They can put me alone in the box. I mean, I've done it multiple times. It's just me getting reps now since I've missed that whole year last year, and me being able to make the mistakes that I have done multiple times is probably essential for me to be getting better in my growth.
You mentioned that you like being the older guy in the room. When you're 25, though, just like in practice, and there's an 18-year-old next to you, what's that like for you? Is it something you're conscious of in the moment?
In the moment, no. It's just another person right there that I got to win against or I got to compete with. So everyone's part of the team and everyone is just trying to get better. But I guess when I am in a weight room or I am in a film room, I do look to the side of me and be like, dang, Jacob Bauer is like 20 years old. So like he is a young guy, and I do be like, wow, that's crazy. But then that just kind of verifies my journey that I've walked. The path that I've walked is kind of unique.
What's it like to play for Butler, and how is he unique, or somebody that you enjoy being a part of his defense?
He's a unique coach. He's very frantic on the football knowledge of the game. He wants you to be immersed in football. He wants you to learn the tendencies, learn the actual game of football. So if you don't, he's very vocal on how you need to be into the game. So that's what the main focus in the spring ball is to become more immersed in football and to become more knowledgeable of the game itself.
The 7 years you've been here, though, a lot has changed with football, with the transfer portal, NIL, rev share. When you just kind of reflect back on this time, I mean, how much do you feel that change? See a lot of these changes that you've been able to, I mean, you go back to 2019 to now, I mean, it's a different game.
It's a very different game now. Like, transfer portal is open a lot of the time. People are transferring. NIL, I mean, it's just a whole different ball game now. And I'm kind of like the bridge between two worlds, like the older generation and the younger generation. I've been through it all. So, like, I can relate to the older guys, you know, like the Jay Foremans and stuff like that. And I can relate to the younger guys like Ja'Cory Barney and Vincent Shavers.
Do you remember what it was like to be kind of broke as a student athlete when you guys didn't have money?
Yeah, I do, actually. I remember saving up money. I remember riding my scooter, not trying to spend money on fast food, trying to go to the training table because I was hungry. And then I remember the times like now. I mean, we're all blessed now, so it's a lot easier than it was before.
Back to last year for a second. Your coaches and your teammates gave you a lot of grace as you were recovering. Just how grateful are you for the patience that everybody had with you?
Yeah, I'm extremely grateful because I think since my class and all the older guys I was with, they understand what I was going through, especially from the years in the past and all the stuff that I've been through. I'm extremely grateful for my teammates and all my friends that have left and are still here.
Portal, what's kind of your impression of some of the transfers that have come in, and are there some guys that have gotten your attention that can help pretty quickly?
Yeah, they're meshing really well. Like, it's not even a skip beat has happened. Like, Mar Watson, he's doing really well. I mean, that's one name. I've worked with him all the time because he's a linebacker, obviously. So we're getting the chemistry right, but he can play. I can name you even more guys off the top of my head, but yeah, those guys they're playing really well.
You weren't the only old head, so to speak, coming back. We just had one walk out of here with Deshaun. Just what's it like having him back in the defensive room?
Oh, me and him go way back because I was here when he first got here. So like he's just one of my brothers that's right next to me. We're locker mates. So like we just talk about how things used to be, how things are now, and how fun football is. It's just we're both trying to achieve the same goal, and so having someone like that by your side and someone like that on the defense is definitely very helpful.
Last year before you had the blood clot reoccurrence, you seemed pretty set on, making the most out of last season. How do you keep the mindset to be positive when you've had that come back multiple times?
Yeah, it's more like a confidence thing. So I was blessed to be able to be the blood clot not to be that severe. So just based on that, I knew that my path is a little different than everyone else's. I would obviously like to go to the next level, but even if my road is a little windier than most, I'm going to make it, and I'm going to achieve the goal that I set out to have since I was 6 years old. So if that means risking my life to play the game, I will do that.
What's left for you in the classroom? Are you, I assume you've been graduated for May of '23. So what are you working on now?
Post-bac, just fucking post-bac classes, taking classes here and there, just stuff that interests me. So I'm in a psychology class right now, so I enjoy psychology.
All good. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.